Hey, me again. Third video in a row. I'm kind of on a roll tonight. I love doing these videos. So, and I've not got the camera stand up, so it's a bit shaky because it's just spontaneous and in the moment. Secondary gains. What do we mean by secondary gains? So sometimes people don't recover very well, very quickly, or something gets in the way of recovery, despite the fact that they might do all the right things. So, what's going on there? Okay, it can be a number of things. So we talked about underlying conditions in the other video. We talked about ADHD and autism. Of course, there are other conditions as well that we didn't go into. Also, it can be down to what we call secondary gains. What do we mean by secondary gains? Well, sometimes an illness, however unpleasant, can serve a function. Okay, so if you, for example, have issues that you may or may not be conscious of around intimacy, then you may find that your retroactive jealousy serves a purpose for you in a very dysfunctional kind of way by ruining your relationships, either by making them end or by killing off the intimacy within them, which takes away that threat of intimacy. Okay, so that's one example of a secondary gain. That's the key one that I can think of. I'm sure there are others. If you can think of any others that were relevant to our job, I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on this. So, and anxiety around intimacy is huge. That's a massive issue for so many people. So in the past, I've alluded to something called attachment, which we might do a video on someday, or I might just link you to a good video on attachment. So this is a really highly researched area of psychology that states that in the early years of life, not the kind of immediately post-birth, but usually from about 6 months to 3 years or more, the parenting that a child receives has a huge effect on a particular aspect of their psychology. So what we talk about is secure attachment, which is good, if you get the right kind of attention from your parents at the right time, and then there is insecure and anxious attachment. So, and disorganized attachment. So I won't go into all of these now. This is just to give you kind of a flavour of, what a secondary gain might entail and what might be behind the need for a secondary gain. So if a child is over responded to by its parents, if it's kind of smothered, or if it receives negative attention, or it's not given enough kind of space to be around, it can actually feel quite threatened in relationship to others. This is grossly oversimplifying it, but it's very, very common. And it's not necessarily from really poor parenting. It's sometimes very well-meaning, very attentive parenting, but it can have this effect that that you grow up with an aversion to intimacy, with a discomfort of people getting too close to you. Okay, now this normally brings us into conflict because on another level there's an absolutely huge human need for contact, for company. We're gregarious, we're pack animals, and also the mating urge. So there's a very strong drive for us to find a sexual and romantic partner. Very strong drive to us to form close friendships and bonds. But for those of us who've got that avoidant attachment style, as it's called, then that's very uncomfortable at the same time. So when people say things like, people either say about men or women, oh, you can't live with them, you can't live without them. This is kind of, this really. So it's relationships, very difficult not to be in a relationship, very difficult to be in a relationship. So fear of intimacy is a classic common secondary gain, but there may be others. So think about what kind of positive side effects, if you like, your retroactive jealousy might have. Does it give you some sort of sense of control in your relationship? think about this, and if you come up with, if you can share any examples or come up with any thoughts around this, I'd be really interested to hear, because this is a whole brilliant area for discussion. We can all kind of learn from these kind of discussions. So watch out for secondary gains. If you can identify them, then you can do something about them. And again, this is where therapy can come in and be very useful. So short one this time, the shortest one I've done for a long time. I don't know, put my hands in front of the video and everything because there's sheer spontaneity and excitement at shooting these videos. So I will catch you soon in another one. Rangimarie.